I'm going to tell you about the work of Animal Care in Egypt, that's ACE. It's based here in Luxor on the magnificent River Nile. Its work is crucial for the welfare and the survival of tens of thousands of animals, and it provides vital support for the animal owners. But ACE can't survive without your support. So watch this film to find out what ACE is achieving on limited funds and how your backing can help it to achieve even more. The animals you're seeing are not isolated victims of life in Egypt. They're typical examples of how many of the country's animals suffer every single day, like this 3-week-old baby donkey, born to a malnourished mother and whose legs are so weak they need support. She's one of hundreds of animals treated every week by ACE vets. In Luxor, ACE is making a big impact and sweeping back the tide of suffering. The charity's founder is Kim Taylor from Sussex, who set up ACE with her now retired aunt, Julie Wartenberg. Kim's life changed the day she came to Luxor on holiday back in the year 2000, when she saw the suffering of the animals.
I'm a crazy animal lover, and I came to Luxor and because of my love of animals, just like this baby donkey here, I wanted to do something here to help the people and the animals. And so I wanted to make a place where people could come and bring their animals just to wash.
Kim has lived in Luxor ever since, devoting her life to the animals. The ACE Centre is the heartbeat of the charity she created from scratch.
It has been an incredible journey because we started off with just washing donkeys and horses all day long. And now we have a big veterinary hospital where animals are coming in and going out all the time. They're coming for all sorts of things. They're coming in as outpatients, they're coming in as inpatients, and we're able to care for them until they're better and send them home to their family. So people are happy that we're able to give them that provision to look after them and take care of them.
ACE now has 4 vets. There are 8 care staff and a manager. And ACE is the only animal hospital in Egypt that offers major surgery for free. Dr. David is the hospital's senior vet. His medical and care team are all Egyptian.
I enjoyed to work here very much in ACE because this is a place which you can find the proper veterinary work and the proper veterinary service to the poor people.
There's a never-ending stream of emergency cases that come into ACE. Dr. Asma, another of the vets at ACE, treats many of the smaller animals.
The dog which you saw, he came from far away first, okay? So for an Egyptian man to carry a dog for a long distance to come, and he's really worried about it, we can say it's really good for him to do something like this.
These are difficult times for ACE, for the people of Luxor and their animals. Tanks on the streets and burnt-out buildings are a sharp reminder of the political chaos that's ruined Egypt's tourist trade.
We are certainly struggling here because we have normally tourists coming to visit us and helping us financially, but now there's nobody coming here, and that's really sad.
Long gone are the days when visitors had to queue for carriage rides around Egypt's ancient capital. The carriages stand empty, and the cruise boats float idle and neglected on the river's edge. So the owners, who used to make a reasonable living from their animals, now earn no money at all to look after them properly. And the queues outside ACE's animal hospital are getting longer and longer.
Everybody's suffering, and the animals are particularly suffering because people haven't got as much money to feed them. If you've got a family and you've got children and you've got animals, you've got to feed your children first. You can't think about the animals first.
Ahmed's story is typical. He's going short of food himself to make sure his carriage horse remains in good condition. But he warns he can't keep this up for long. And he couldn't keep his horse without help from ACE.
Because no tourists, no business. I have a difficult life now. I have a big problem because the revolution 3 years is like that.
And there are similar stories throughout Luxor. ACE's Egyptian manager Ayman is a friend to many owners. When he calls in to check how they're doing, his visits are a welcome boost to morale. For Ashraf, the collapse of tourism means he's now having to sort through rubbish to sell plastic for recycling. It's barely a living. His home is still immaculate and he's putting food on the table. But for how much longer, he doesn't know. Without Ace, he wouldn't be able to keep his animals.
He's hardly can feed his family, and there is no business at all. He's just go to the farms and work in the farms sometimes for free to take some green alfalfa or something for his animals. And let me tell you that truthfully, this is the result of ACE training.
For Ayman, these visits are time well spent. Owners are reminded that ACE is there to help. They're taught better ways to look after their animals, and in these desperate times, the knowledge will be passed on from owner to owner, helping to spread the animal welfare message across the city and beyond.
At ACE here we have an average of 70-something animals a day coming in. Without ACE, I hate to think what would happen, really. There's no other veterinary hospital here that animals can go to, especially that's free. There are vets, but they're not free. And the poor people can't afford to have veterinary treatment for their animals. They're struggling as it is, and as time is going on, it's getting worse and worse. If we had more funds, we could do more. We could be out on the streets, we could be doing all sorts of things. But as it is, we are just holding our head above water here to keep the hospital going.
Out and about in Luxor, it is hard to take in the everyday suffering of Egypt's working animals. Injured and malnourished, yet still carrying heavy loads. Tied up and neglected on the streets. Animals are woven into the very fabric of the Egyptian people's way of life. Their role hasn't changed since the time of the pharaohs. Yet, it's a misconception that owners are acting out of cruelty. The vets at ACE will tell you that people don't mean to be cruel. Instead, it's ignorance. So that's why ACE has placed education at the heart of its activities. School children come to the ACE Centre every day to be taught key messages about animal welfare.
When we give them the lesson, trying to make their mind open about what animals do for us and why God gave us animals. A lot of kids are coming to me in the streets to shake hand and to say, I was in your class. And this is something very, very nice.
And Zakia takes time out from housekeeping duties to help teach the children that animals should be cared for and not mistreated.
Yeah, I like it to do this with the children, and they take many advice because the story, never they will forget it.
Because we have an education program for the children, it means that they now know we're here, which means that they are then bringing in all their cats and dogs as well, which is great because that's the future. Those kids that have now got a cat and dog, perhaps in the future they'll have a donkey or a horse. So we're really happy that the children in the whole area are becoming really aware of ACE and what ACE can do and how this is the place to bring your animals when they're sick.
But not every case at ACE is a success story. This donkey has a broken foot. It's been suffering in agony for several days. There's nothing the medical team can do. And this horse died before our eyes, put to sleep to bring a peaceful end to its pain. And when the animals that can't be helped are taken away, it's a grim road out beyond Luxor and into the desert. This is the place that ACE staff dislike coming to the most. It's optimistically called the Animal Burial Ground, but in reality it's the city's waste dump. There's no proper place for burying animals here in Luxor.
I hate going there. There are people working there collecting recyclables and it's full of dust and it's on fire all the time. I hate going there more because I see people working there and trying to make a living in all the filth and really the smoke that's coming from the constant burning fire is horrible.
These days, the number of tourists visiting Ace is down to just a trickle. Egypt is off the holiday map. But the few who do call in find Kim as determined as ever to keep the hospital going against all the odds. Visitors are full of praise.
It's part of our holiday. Every time we come to Egypt, we always visit Ace. They do outstanding work, but they need everybody's help.
We're so impressed by the work that goes on here that it's so reassuring to know that there's somewhere for the animals to come if they get hurt, which they often do.
So I'm visiting here from Australia. We've heard about this place through a friend we met here and seen the donkeys and the horses on the streets. We felt it was appropriate to come here and see the work they're doing. It's really great, it's been really fantastic here.
And the money they leave when they say goodbye is crucial to Ace's survival. Other money does trickle in from other supporters in Luxor, but there's always the need for more. Laura Nixon owns the Secret Garden Cafe in the city centre, and she displays news about Ace on all her tables. She also sells books and films, with proceeds going towards the hospital's running costs.
It all helps, every little helps, and I don't think people appreciate how little it takes to feed a horse.
Nighttime in Luxor, and it's busy on the streets. Life's in full swing. And for Kim, there's never a moment when she's off duty. On an unlit road on the edge of town, a horse that's all skin and bone is giving up on life. After a few tender moments, Kim calls Ayman, who brings fresh food to revive its spirits. And then it's a short walk to the hospital gates and sanctuary for a horse which, until a short while ago, had no friends to give it comfort. And where there's life, there's hope, as there is for the baby donkey. There's a real spring in her step now. The mother is regaining her strength, and her milk now contains the goodness that will guarantee her baby can grow and prosper. Kim has named her Molly.
And for Ace, I would just like to see us be able to get everything we need to do our job properly, to do a much better job here in Luxor. I don't think it's right to be doing a lot not very well. I'd rather do one thing really well and to run this hospital really well and to help these animals. And I'm going to give you a kiss, because you're beautiful. Yes, you are.
So I hope we've given you a good idea about what Ace is achieving for the animals and the people of Luxor. If you want to know more about their work, then visit their website. And remember, do spread the word about Ace. Call in and visit to look around if you come to Luxor. And if you can, please give your support. Remember, if you help Ace, you're helping the animals. Thank you for watching.
you.